For this tutorial, I use 100% mercerized cotton. This yarn is a size 3 or lightweight yarn that's suitable for crochet hook sizes 3.75 millimeters, but I did went ahead and use a 2.25 crochet hook, so yeah. And then I also used some tape measure and then stitch markers, but this is optional. And last but not least, some scissors as well. To begin making the bra cup, I'm going to be making a size B bra cup. So I made a slip knot and I'm going to chain 16 stitches. Okay, if you want to adjust the bra cup to your size, you can also just chain a chain that is long enough to go from your under boob to the bottom of your nipple. And then you're just going to single chain in the second chain from the hook to begin row 1. And you're just going to continue single crocheting until you reach the last stitch of the foundation chain. Alright, and so now that I've got into the last stitch of the foundation chain, try to get that in focus here. There we go, kind of. So this is the last stitch of the foundation row. I'm going to actually be single crocheting 5 times into this one stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And at this point, this is a good place to take one of your stitch markers that I mentioned earlier and just placing it in the 3rd single crochet of the 5 single crochet cluster. This will be the center of the bra cup, so it's just easier for us to just mark that because that's where all of our increases will be. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alright, so now that that's in, I'm going to continue to single crochet down the other end of the foundation chain that we had earlier, and this will complete row 1. So you're just going to continue to single crochet down the chain, making sure to conceal this leftover yarn as you go. If you're following my pattern, by the end of row 1, you should have 33 stitches in total, so make sure to count each stitch to make sure that you have 33 stitches if you started off with the 16 stitches for the foundation chain. Now for row 2, you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work, and you're just going to single crochet in each stitch. And as you reach the stitch marker, you just want to move it up as you go with each row to make sure you maintain the center stitch for each row. So row 2, it's just 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I'm going to continue single crocheting all around, and then I'll meet you at the end. For row 3, you're just going to chain 1, turn your work once more, and continue to single crochet once in each stitch until you hit the stitch marker in the middle. That's over here, because this is going to be an expanding row. So I'm just going to continue single crocheting. Alright, so now that I'm where the center stitch is, where I place a stitch marker, I'm going to actually do the cluster of 5 single crochets in that stitch once more, making sure that I put the place marker back in the 3rd single crochet. So this is the first one in that same stitch, the second one in that same stitch, the 3rd one in that same stitch. I'm just going to put the stitch marker back there, like so. There we go. And then 4 in the same stitch, and then 5. Okay, so we just completed the 5 single crochet cluster. So I'm going to go ahead and single chain once in each remaining stitch of the row, and that will complete the third row. So continue to do this until the end of the row. For row 4, you're just going to chain 1, turn your work, and this will be just a normal single crochet row. So you're just going to single crochet once in each stitch, and again you're going to make sure that you continue to carry the stitch marker up with each row in the corresponding stitch. So I'm going to continue crocheting with my single crochet through this entire row, and then I'll meet you at the end of the row. Just going to keep going. Good. For row 5, you're going to chain 1 once more and turn your work, and you're going to continue to single crochet down the row until you hit the place marker once more. And instead of just doing 1 single crochet in that stitch, you're going to do that 5 single crochet cluster. So I'm just going to keep going. So we've reached the stitch marker once more, and so like I said, it's going to be a 5 single crochet cluster in this stitch, and we're going to make sure to move the place marker and make sure to put it in the 3rd single crochet of the 5 single crochet cluster, because that's the middle. So 1 in that same stitch, 2, 3, put your stitch marker there now, there, okay, 4 in that same stitch, 5, and then you're just going to continue to single crochet normally, making 1 single crochet in each of the remaining stitch of row 5. So now that we've reached the end of row 5, you're just going to continue to repeat row 4 and 5. So 1 row of normal single crochets, and then going back you're going to continue with 1 row of single crochets and 1 5 single crochet cluster, and then single crochet again. So you're going to alternate between a normal row and then a cluster row until you get a width that covers the amount that you want. I'm going to come back with my finished bra cup, and I will show you the amount of rows that I used. So I ended up completing 26 rows in total, so I did 21 rows extra from the 5 that I previously recorded, so there's 26 rows currently. I did not fasten off just yet because I'm not quite done. I just wanted to measure it out real quick so you understand what my dimensions are so far. I do crochet very tightly, so that's why it's kind of curved up. I didn't want any holes to expose like the boob area, so that's it. So if I measure this out approximately, it's about 7 inches wide, and let's see if I can get it tall, and roughly 6 inches high. But again, you can continue to increase or decrease depending on how much cleavage you want showing. I kind of wanted less cleavage, so I did some more rows, but again, I did 26 rows in total. To begin row 27, you're going to chain 1 once more, and for row 27 and row 28, those are the last 2 rows of this pattern. I'm going to do the edging around the border of the bra cup. So after I have chained 1 to begin row 27, I'm going to turn my work likewise, and I'm going to single crochet in the first 3 stitches like this, and then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to skip the next single crochet and go into the next one, so there should be a gap right now. So I'm skipping this stitch right here, and I'm going to single crochet in the next one, and the next one after that. So I single crochet twice after I skip that one stitch, and I'm going to continue throughout the entire row to chain one and skip one stitch and single crochet twice in the next two stitches. So I meant single crochet once in the next two stitches, excuse me. All right, so chaining one again, skip that one stitch here and single crochet one and then twice in the next two stitches, chain one, skip one stitch from the previous row and single crochet in the next two stitches, and you're going to continue this until you reach the last couple stitches of the row. Okay, so you're just going to continue all along, and you're going to stop when you get to the last 5 stitches of the row. So I'll meet you when I get there. So at this point I'm in the 5th stitch from the end of row 27, and there should be a single crochet there. And as we have done in the past for this entire row, when we finish the 2 single crochet cluster, we chain one and then we skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next 2. But since there's one more single crochet here, we're just going to single crochet there to end with 3. So at the end of 27, row 27, it should look like this. And then last but not least is row 28. All right, for row 28, you're just going to chain one, turn your work, and you're going to single crochet in the first 3 stitches, like so. And then in that chain one gap from the previous row, we're going to do 5 double crochets. And then we're going to look for the next chain one space, and we're going to do 1 single crochet. And then we're going to look for the next chain one space, and we're going to do, we're going to do 5 double crochets. All right, and then in the next chain one space is just 1 single crochet. So you just alternate between 5 double crochets in the chain one space and then 1 single crochet in the following chain one space. 3, 4, 5, and then you're just going to continue that for the rest of row 28. So I'm just going to look for the next chain one space, single crochet once, next chain one space, 5 double crochets, alright, and you're just going to keep going with that same pattern of 5 double crochets, 1 single crochet alternating between the chain one spaces, and I'll meet you at the end. But this is what the edging looks like. It's like a nice Picot curved elegant border. At the end of row 28, you're going to finish that 5 double crochet cluster in that chain one space before the end, and you're just going to single crochet in the last stitch of the row. So you're going to skip the 2 single crochets and single crochet in the 3rd, single crochet in the previous row, and that's how you end this row. And you're going to go ahead and make 2 bra cups in total. So I already made one off camera. This is what it looks like. Back a little bit. All right. And to fasten off, I'm just going to cut the string. Cut it. And then I'm just going to chain one and just fasten off like so. And there you go. So here's one bra cup, and the next bra cup. To make the ties and to join the cups, what I'm first going to do, I did it off camera, I chained 95 to make the strap, the back strap. And once I did that, I'm going to hold the cup like this and make sure it's on the wrong side. And I'm going to start single crocheting evenly across the base of this bra cup and making sure it's on the wrong side. So this one's like a little bit more pointier than the other side, so I'm making this the wrong side. And I'm just going to crochet on the bottom edge across, if that makes sense, because I'm attaching the strap to the bra cup. So I'm just going to start right there, single crochet, that's one. There's literally no rhyme or reason to this. I'm not really sure how many single crochets I'm going to do, but I'm just going to go evenly across the bottom where I see there's a gap, tucking in my ends as I go. Like so. So I'm just finding gaps to crochet in. Okay, so once I reach the end, alright, so the tie should be attached to the bra cup like this, and I'm just going to chain 4. And I'm going to take the second bra cup, making sure that it's also on its wrong side with the pointy part upwards. And I'm also going to single crochet along the base of it as well. And like I said, I didn't count how many single crochets I did at the bottom edge. I just went along with what felt right. So make sure there's no gaps as you're going. Making sure to just carry along any loose straps, or sorry, strings of yarn. There you go. And just continue to proceed like you just did with the other bra cup. Okay, so once you finish crocheting along the edge, you're just going to crochet 96 chains. After you complete the 96 chains, you're going to go into the second chain from the hook and do a slip stitch. And you're going to continue to slip stitch along the chain. And once you get to the bra cup, I'll meet you there. So I've reached the bra cup now after I slip stitched in all of the 95 chains from the strap. And instead of slip stitching across the bottom of the bra cup, I'm actually going to single crochet. So the pattern is just slip stitch in the chain stitches and single crochet along the bra cup edge. Oops. Okay. So you're going to keep single crocheting, and then once you get into the 4 chains in the middle, you're going to slip stitch in each chain and then single crochet once more. And then on the other side, you're going to slip stitch in the remaining 95 stitches, and then once you're done with that, just fasten off, and then you'll be done with the bottom straps. And then we're going to move on to the necktie straps at the top. So to make the necktie, you're first going to make a slip knot, and with the bra cups facing with the right side forward, you're going to go into the center of the 5 double crochet stretch on the bra cup. So I'm going to look for the 3rd double crochet. It's right here, 1, 2, 3, which is the top center. So I'm going to attach the yarn there. And to make this strap, I'm going to chain a length of 106 stitches, but you can go ahead and make as much chains or as little chains as you want, just making sure that it's long enough to wrap around your neck. So I'm just going to keep making my chains. And since I already pre-made the necktie on the other side, I'll just show you what I did. So once I made the 106 stitches, I turned my work and I just slip stitched in each chain until it got to the top center of the bra cup. And then once I got there, I just slip stitched and fastened off to make the necktie. So I'm just going to repeat that on this side, and then that's it.